What's up, peoples? Give me a second. I'm adjusting a couple things real quick, and I'll be ready to go. All right, looks like it's working. That one's working. All right, we're good. Before we get started, I added a brand new episode to the website today, a brand new reaction. I decided that I'm just gonna add a new one every day. That way I can kind of catch up for lost time. Instead of trying to do a bunch of them in one day, I just wake up, put one up, and then keep going. That way, it's something new every day, and I'm not burning myself out at the same time. What I'm gonna talk about today is people just lying for the sake of lying. Um, and got a video I want to look at to just demonstrate to you guys how people will just say shit just so they can do content. I get it. I don't have a problem with people coming online, talking, whatever the fuck. But if you gotta just tell straight up lies for no reason, just to get people to watch you, then maybe it's time that you rethink your content. Checked out a couple of the people who followed me in the last couple days. The most recent two, they've been banned. And the reason is because I know they trolls, I know they troublemakers, and I'm not interested. These people truly think that I can't recognize the names that they use. So, or that I've been off of here so long that I forgot their troll names. So they were banned immediately. I'm not finna have them trying to start that old stuff up. It's just like the assholes on Rumble trying to fuck with me. They've been getting no attention. I've been making my content. I haven't said word one about them, and that's because I'm done letting these people control any and everything about me. Oh, okay. Yeah, I gave up on this idea that I'm gonna let people come on my shit and fuck with me. Now they're not gonna give up on the idea of trying to figure out some way to mess with me, but I just decided if I get up every day, make my content, and pay no attention to these people, they don't get anything for it. And you know what's funny? We talked about this on my stream that we did on the website. Matter of fact, speaking of the website, we're going to be doing a live stream tomorrow on the website. As you guys know, it's free. I added a whole free section for free streams on the website. We're doing a stream on there. But we talked about how part of the problem was I was giving these people attention. And once I stopped doing it, all they little troll shit started losing views. The little shit that the dudes scamped off of my website, ain't nobody clicking on that shit. And that's what and that's when I realized these people truly only exist when I bring them up. Like most of you guys don't even know where to find these people until I open my big fucking mouth. That's why I haven't been saying shit about them. But today's lying that I'm gonna be talking about is not even people that hate me. This ain't even about them. So I'm not even gonna worry about it. People gonna do what they gonna do. But the folks that I've banned before they even had a chance to say anything on my channel, they know why they banned. They know who they are. and they know why they banned. And if you try to come back on a different channel, then I'm gonna ban you on that one too. And it ain't because I'm scared. It ain't because I'm afraid. It ain't none of that stuff. It's because I simply don't care about that old shit anymore. Frozen, if you want to avoid ads, sub to the channel, dude. Like the way my ads are set up, I only run 3 minutes of advertising like every hour or so or some shit. So if I stretch it out any more than that, it won't even be worth doing. Like I went on there and stretched it out as far as I could. It ain't that much ads being run on my channel. Not like some of them motherfuckers where they're running 10, 15 minutes worth of ads. Yeah, I'm only running the minimum amount of ads. That way I can make a little bit of money for this. But if you sub, you can just skip them. Y'all remember how Twitch is. Come on. Y'all remember how it used to be. Y'all sub, no ads, no bullshit. But I was looking at a video on YouTube and I decided, you know what? I am not going to watch this whole video. I'm going to save it for today because I just want to show you guys what happens when you lie on the internet. And I know most people think that lying on the internet will be a bad thing, that it will hurt you. No, on today's internet, lying will grow your channel. Like, look at all those anime douchebags. They all lie. And what happens? Their channels grow. They never tell the truth. And boom, they get hundreds of thousands of subs and make a lot of money. Same thing on Twitch. People come on here, they tell a bunch of lies. They fuck people around. They're never honest. They do whatever to get a sub train or a hype train going. And people just like being lied to. I'm not even going to front. Yes, I got a problem with the liars, but I also got a problem with the people that consume the lies. Because a lot of y'all know somebody lying, but because y'all like them or you like their content or whatever, you overlook the fact that they're lying. You only ever get upset about somebody lying when you decide you don't like them anymore. That's one thing I've noticed about every social media platform. You like a person, so you don't care what kind of bullshit they tell you. But as soon as you decide you don't like them anymore, they're lying. They're a lying liar. I find it funny that y'all only call out people that you hate or that you have some kind of internal problem with. I call out everybody. I don't give a fuck about nobody's feelings. I don't care how anybody feel. I just call everybody out because the only way to be fair, there's only two ways to be fair. Either you don't call anybody out and just stay out of it, or you call everybody out equally, friend and foe alike. I call out everybody, whether they like my content or not, whether they like me or not. I call out everybody equally across the board. A lot of people don't like this. They want me to do like everybody else, pick a side and then bash the other side all day. Like liberals, they want you to join their side and then bash Republicans all day. And the same thing with the right wing and the Republicans. They want you to join Donald Trump and bash liberals and so-called snowflakes all day. The people like me who stay in the middle and call everybody out on their bullshit, everybody hates us, both sides. And it's like my mom always told me, if everybody hates you for telling the truth, then that means you're doing something right. If too many people on this side like me, or too many people on that side like me, then that means I'm bullshitting. It means I'm lying. The fact that everybody hates me across the board and they hate the stuff that I say lets me know that my truth is getting under people's skin and they can't take it. Which is fine. I don't care. You guys think because I'm on Twitch, I'm going to suddenly start caring about people's feelings? No. I'm not going to you do all the shit that I do on Rumble, then come on Twitch and be like, hey guys, I love everybody. I'm not going to do that. Yeah, I can do my content without all the crazy stuff. that could get me in trouble. I don't need to do that stuff. If y'all want that, I got plenty of that coming on the website and Rumble, so I don't need to do it here. But I'm gonna tell the truth no matter what. Now, if I get an email telling me my channel's been suspended for telling the truth, I'm cool with that. I'll take that. If I get an email telling me my channel been suspended for saying something that's true, I'll go back to what I was doing with no questions asked. Anyways, let me find this video. I downloaded it earlier. I got a lot of stuff I need to delete on my computer. I'm filling up files like crazy on here. And we're going to slowly build the audience back up on Twitch. I'm not in any big hurry. I mean, yeah, you got to crawl before you walk, and a lot of people don't know that I'm back, or a lot of people just probably stopped following the channel, or they just stopped caring because I was gone for so long. It'll build back up, so I don't want people to worry about that. Let me find out. Here it is. All right,
here's the big story for the day. Jon Stewart overvalued New York City apartment by 829%, yet accuses Trump of crime for overvaluing. Quote, the Attorney General of New York knew that Trump's property values were inflated because when it came time to pay taxes, Trump undervalued the very same properties. Now, we talked about this story because I stumbled upon this rather in real time.
Now, I want to tell you guys, Tim Pool is one of the greatest examples of a grifter I've ever seen. This guy started out all the way on the left. He used to work for Vice News. He used to do a whole lot of stories about the left, and he used to do the woke politics stuff. He used to do all of that stuff. And just like The Quartering, and just like Yellow Flash, and a lot of other people, the Umbrella Guy, just like all those dudes, he saw how much money they were making in the right-wing grift category. He saw how much money they were making. And suddenly he went from being Mr. Liberal to doing a grift. And look how much money he's made from it. It's funny how these guys suddenly become right-wing experts once they see how much money. Because The Quartering used to be very liberal. He used to have like a video game channel, and he had like a Magic the Gathering channel, and he was very liberal. He didn't say none of that right-wing crazy stuff that he says now. He didn't fight against LGBT rights. He didn't do none of that stuff. But now that he can see how much money there is to be made off that grift, suddenly The Quartering is as right-wing as you get. Same thing with Tim Pool.
And then by accident. I had been doing a segment on Jon Stewart criticizing Kevin O'Leary, who is a...
By the way, guys, just giving y'all the heads up. The ad is going to be starting in 3 minutes. So for those of you that are not subscribed, you're going to be hit with an ad.
real estate developer who I would say passively defended Trump in the fraud trial in New York State. They claim that it's not just about New York properties either. It's about lenders in New York and even DC properties and Florida. They claim that Donald Trump committed fraud by overvaluing the properties to secure larger loans when he knew they weren't worth as much. And how did he know? Well, Jon Stewart says, because when it came time to pay taxes, he paid a lower amount. As any sane human being who works in real estate or has ever bought a house knows, or maybe just perused Zillow, tax assessed value is done by the government, by usually a local assessor, and it is typically different from the real market value. To argue that Trump committed fraud over this is to lie. So while I was doing this segment, I said, I'm sure Jon Stewart sold property, right? Well, sure enough, big news that he sold the property for $17.5 million.
Okay, guys, let me explain to y'all something real quick. There's a difference between stating your property is worth this much and overinflating the value of your property. There's a difference between that and then what your property sells for on the open market. Let's say you put a house on the open market and you start the price at $5 million and it ends up selling for $20 million. the it's not because you overinflated the value of it. It's because the market decided for you, because people bid on it, because people kept one-upping each other. It's just like on eBay. If you try to buy something and you put a bid on it, what's going to happen? Somebody else is going to come and put another bid on it. And then somebody else is going to come and put another bid on it. So Jon Stewart did not do the same thing as Donald Trump. He didn't lie about how much his apartment was worth. No, people were bidding on it on the open market, and that's what inflated the price. But Tim Pool is literally sitting here accusing Jon Stewart of putting a false price on his apartment when it's not true. And the thing is, the news article that wrote the story retracted the story and said that they were wrong. And Tim Pool has still kept lying even though the article was retracted. This is what I mean when I say people just lie for the sake of lying. Tim Pool knows he's lying. But now he's done like 5 videos on this. And he won't stop because it's a grift. He knows that this right-wing audience, they're going to eat it up. He knows they're going to eat it up. So he don't care how much of a lie he's telling. Look, I'm not left or right. You guys know I am a registered independent. I have in the past voted for left and for right. Now, I vote more right than left nowadays than I've gotten older. Because as you get older, you typically become more conservative. And I know you young people don't understand that, but when y'all get older, you will understand. You will become more conservative. But even though I voted for both sides, I don't see a reason to lie on either side. The fact is, Tim Pool is just straight lying right here. You can go look it up anywhere and see that he's lying. Not one time did Jon Stewart ever change the price of his apartment, overvalue his apartment. He never did any of that. He simply put it on the market for sale, and then the market took off from there. That's just like if you decide you want to sell a car. You put it on the market. You know what happens? If people keep bidding on it, the price is going to go up. Let's say I put a car in my front yard and want to sell it for $1,000. And then somebody say, all right, I'll give you $1,000. And then somebody else pulls up and say, I'll give you $1,200. And then another person pulls up and say, I'll give you $1,500. That's not me overinflating the price. That's people bidding on it to increase the price. So Tim Pool's just telling a straight up lie right here.
Pulled up the county records, and what did I find? The actual assessed value, market value, not tax assessed, from the city was $1.8 million. Why then would Jon Stewart sell it substantially higher than that? To make matters worse, according to the Post Millennial, actually, it's the New York Post who covered the story, the individual who bought it ended up selling it a few years later for $13 million, losing more than $4 million, a 26% loss.
The reason why the apartment took a loss is because he sold it during a time where real estate was taking losses all over the place. Everybody was losing money in real estate. It wasn't because he got cheated out of money. He sold the apartment at a time where real estate was doing very poorly, and he couldn't get back what he put into it. Guys, this is nowhere close to the same thing that Donald Trump did. Donald Trump literally changed the size of his apartment in order to get financial benefits. He said that an 11,000 square foot apartment was 33,000 square feet. He actually put documents in saying it's 33,000 square feet. But when it came time to pay taxes on that property, he went back down to 11,000 square feet again, because the more square footage, the more taxes. So in order to get loans, he increased the size of it. In order to lower his taxes, he lowered the size of it. All Jon Stewart did was put his apartment on the market for sale. That's it. He didn't do anything else. He just simply said, here's the apartment, putting it up for sale. And then he let the realtor handle it from there. So this is what I'm talking about. This is why I can't listen to right-wingers. I just got to say, and I don't like the left wing either. I want to make it clear. I'm not grifting for the left, because the left has a lot of liars on it too. I'm grifting for the truth. I'm about people being honest and telling it like it is. But here's what I want to say about the right wing. They talk about all this truth and justice and all this and this. Why do y'all lie so much? Why do y'all lie so much? If y'all are so big on the truth and transparency and non-censorship, why do y'all lie so incredibly bad?
So dare I say, Jon Stewart overvalued a property at sale, telling a person it was worth 17.5 when he knew the government said it was 1.8. That individual lost $4 million.
That is not what happened. Jon Stewart put the apartment on the market and let his realtors deal with it. His realtors are the one who sold the apartment. Jon Stewart didn't sell it. If you try to sell your house right now, a realtor will be the one to sell it for you. It won't be you doing it. It'll be a real estate company selling it for you. And that's exactly what happened with Jon Stewart's apartment. The whole story came out after Tim Pool did this video. The full story came out that everything Tim Pool is saying in his video is a complete made-up lie. He completely lied to his audience. Look, I get it. People embellish. People make up stuff. People skirt the truth. People do all these things. Okay? In order to make content, people are capable of anything. I get it. You got to entertain people. And that's what Tim Pool is doing with this right-wing grift. And part of the reason that I think he's one of the worst actors, part of the reason I think he's one of the fakest ones is because he used to be all the way on the other side. He used to be on the left doing this same thing, trashing the right wing. But being on the left doesn't pay enough. Haven't you guys noticed that people on the left wing of politics, they don't grift and make as much as people on the right wing of politics? Well, I'll tell you why. And I'm probably going to insult some people, but this is an actual fact that you can look up. Statistically speaking, people on the left or in the middle have more high school diplomas and college degrees than people on the right. What does that mean? That means that it's harder to fool people on the left and in the middle because they're educated. People on the right are typically lower educated people. They're also people who don't dabble in politics, so they don't know when somebody's lying to them or not. And so they come and they watch somebody like Tim Pool and their passion builds up. They get angry. Roar! The left, the liberals, roar! They get mad and they think with their anger instead of using their rational brain and literally Googling this story to see that it's all made up and that Jon Stewart did not do any of this. Not even close. I looked it up myself because I wanted to see if there was any truth to it. And the fact is, Jon Stewart did not do what this guy is saying he did. All he did was put his apartment out on the market, and the people bidding on the apartment is the reason why the price went up.
Dare I say, Jon Stewart. If by his standard, Trump has committed fraud, so has he. Well, Jon Stewart responded to the story. He says, OMG.
And by the way, this is what Tim Pool wanted. He wanted to get somebody that's famous like Jon Stewart to respond to his trash video. This is why I stopped responding to my haters. Because do y'all hear how excited he got when he said, oh, by the way, he responded? Look how excited he got when he said that. This is what people do when they make videos about you. When they lie on you, when they fuck with you. They want your response. You know what happens when you don't give them a response? They go into depression, or they just make up another lie about you. I've chosen to let my haters go into depression and tell lies. I don't respond to them anymore. But this is what he wanted. Jon Stewart is famous. Tim Pool is not. So of course he wanted a response.
I've been caught doing something not remotely similar to Trump. I guess all I need to do now is start a fraud college, steal classified documents, bankrupt casinos, pay hush money, grab women, discriminate in housing, cheat at golf, and foment insurrection, and you'll revere me. I got to make it really simple for you, John. Here's what I propose. We seize all your assets just like they're doing to Trump, and then we don't send you to prison for insurrection because you did not commit one. Is that a standard by which you're willing to engage in politics? Because I'm willing to. Okay, I guess Trump's an insurrectionist, John. I guess we'll seize all your assets now. You want to play that game? We can play that game. Here's where we're currently at, and I want to make sure it's clear. Jon Stewart bought the property for $5.8 million. I want to make sure everybody understands this. He was paying taxes on a rate of 700. I believe they have it. Actually, it's my tweet. He was paying tax on a rate of $748,000.
So he's using his own tweet as a reference point. You're using your own tweet as evidence. Well, that makes a lot of sense. That makes a whole lot of sense. You tweet something, and then on your video, you refer back to your own tweet for evidence. Imagine if you go to court and the judge says, all right, I need some evidence. And then you refer back to your own evidence that you collected on your own independently. You refer back to your own evidence. And like, here you go, Your Honor. They're going to be like, dude, this is not evidence. This is something that you said. No, we need actual outside evidence, not just your word. But yeah, he's using his own tweet as information.
1,000 per year. This is really interesting. I think Mike Cernovich actually has a good take on this. He said, "You didn't pay your fair share of taxes. Another smug hypocrite with no values." That's interesting. All of these New York limousine liberal types, if you look at the tax assessed value,
this guy is like 5'5". He wears a beanie because he's bald, and not because he shaves his head, but because he's just going bald. And he's like half my age, and he can't grow hair on his head. He has this pistol and this ugly ninja blade on the wall in his guitar to try to make himself seem cool and try to appeal to certain audiences. It really makes him look dumb. That's why he has the skateboard up on the wall too, because he wants kids to think he's a skateboarder. Oh, I got my own skate company. You know what? I could buy a skate company and stick my name, NBA, on a skateboard. That don't mean I'm a pro skater. You know, whatever happened to just being yourself?
On their $20 million condos, they're assessed at like $900,000. That is insane. None of these limousine liberals in New York are paying their fair share. Well, I think it's high time, thank you, Letitia James, we start going after every single one of these liberals in New York.
I mean, we've talked about this a little bit on the show in the past. I think it's time for conservative AGs to use the government to start punishing the crap out of anyone that's jaywalked. Politically motivated.
Well, a conservative AG is not a Republican. These people confuse conservative with Republican. No. A conservative is not necessarily a Republican. Just like a liberal is not necessarily a Democrat. A conservative or a liberal is an ideology, or it's a way of life, a way that you live, or a way that you choose to live. Democrat and Republican are political parties. It's not the same thing. So whenever he said, conservative AGs need to go after people, well, you can have a conservative Democrat like Joe Manchin from West Virginia. He's a conservative Democrat. RFK is a conservative Democrat. Joe Biden is a conservative Democrat. He's not liberal at all. He's a conservative, or a centrist is what they call him. But he's not a centrist. He's a conservative Democrat. But then you got liberal people that are farther to the left. But that has nothing to do with the political party. There's no conservative party in America. There's no liberal party in America.
Motivated. If you're a Democrat and you have broken the law, conservative AG should throw the book at you. If you've broken the law, there should be.
So he wants people to go after other people based on their political ideology. Do you guys understand why the world that these people want to live in would never work? All they care about is political violence, locking people up, all this other stuff. Every time you hear these people talk, it's all about political violence or locking somebody up or taking away somebody's rights. Let me explain to y'all what this whole conversation is. They're trying to make an excuse for Donald Trump literally stealing $500 million in fees from all the fraud he's been doing. That's what they're doing. Yes, I saw that trailer for the Civil War movie. That's what they want. This is part of the reason why I truly think the right wing is going to get wiped out in the election. I don't believe polls, okay? The polls said that Hillary would beat Trump. Trump won. The polls said that Trump would be reelected. Trump lost. And now the polls are saying Trump's going to be elected again. I don't listen to polls. If you go and you do a poll with 1,000 people, that 1,000 people don't equal 300 million people that's going to vote. Not even close. That's why every time I see a poll that says Donald Trump's in the lead or Biden is in the lead, I don't believe it, because they probably only talk to 100 or so people. If you go in a grocery store and you poll everybody in that store, let's say it's 100 people in the grocery store, what makes you think that 100 people speak for everybody in that whole city? The polls have been wrong every year for, I don't know, the past 10 years. Nobody has gotten it right. Because you guys remember, Barack Obama was the last place candidate on the Democrat side. Hillary Clinton was leading when Barack Obama rose to prominence. See, a lot of y'all just remember that Obama became president, but a lot of y'all don't remember that Hillary Clinton was leading the pack. Hillary was leading the pack, and then Obama came out of nowhere and passed her. The polls did not have that. There wasn't a single poll that said Obama was going to come out of nowhere and pass Hillary. Matter of fact, most polls had Barack Obama dropping out of the race because he couldn't beat Hillary. So that's why when you see a poll saying this person's going to win, just ignore it, because they're not really polling everybody. They're taking a small little handful of people and asking them. If you ask a bunch of Trump supporters who's going to be president, you know they're going to say Trump. If you ask a bunch of Biden supporters who's going to be president, you know they're going to say Biden. Do we have to keep playing this game?
Absolute onslaught of laying down the law against Democrats that have broken the law. That's what they want. That's exactly what they're doing. That's what they've done to the January 6 people that just walked around that actually didn't do anything wrong. That's what Democrats have been doing to conservatives for ages. Time to start acting like you have some power if you have some power.
But shouldn't all the liberals in New York be happy to be paying this additional taxes so it could fund all the newcomers that they're putting up at the Roosevelt?
That's right.
And everywhere. I mean, all these people, they need to be supported. So the liberals should be happy to contribute more of their income to the city. So
it's their
the city
fair
can
share.
do that. Yeah, absolutely.
This is actually quite remarkable that none of these people.
I'm sorry, but that guy looks like an idiot with that Donald Trump hat on and the handlebar mustache and that checkerboard coat. I'm sorry, he just looks really dumb. Tim Pool brings on the craziest of the crazy. Okay? He brings the craziest of the crazy that he can get on his show. I don't know how this guy got popular. He lies all the time. He has crazy conspiracy theories. Look, I want to tell you like this. If you believe in conspiracy theories, then just stay away from me. Conspiracy theories are fantasy. Just like Jesus, just like the Tooth Fairy. I don't believe in fantasy stuff. You know, I don't believe in this Illuminati, and I don't believe in none of that stuff. It's all nonsense. So if you believe in that stuff, don't talk to me. Okay? If you have to have somebody read a bedtime story to you as an adult, don't talk to me. Enough is enough. People need to call out these folks. This is ridiculous behavior, and it needs to be called out.
Are paying their fair share. But to be fair, a lot of the progressives who are complaining and demanding they do are not people who own $20 million condos. So let's roll, baby. Letitia James opened the door for this. And I think the reason why Kevin O'Leary is freaking out, I think when you start looking into this is where you start to realize she may have just destroyed the entire real estate market. Because now the argument is, look, that market value for his condo apparently now is only $14 million because that guy lost $4 million on it. But the reality is,
he's telling another lie. You know what happened to the real estate market when they found Donald Trump liable for fraud? The stock market went up. The real estate market went up. When he was found guilty of fraud and they hit him with that $450 million fine, the actual market went up. The stock market and real estate went up, not down. So this is a lie that they're telling to try to cover for Donald Trump's tracks. They're trying to say that by finding him, you're going to hurt the real estate market. Guys, it did not happen. It went the opposite. Oh, and by the way, you remember when they were all bragging about Donald Trump's Truth Social, his social media program or whatever, that's supposed to be the alternative to X? Remember how they was all bragging about how it was soaring, the stocks were soaring when they went public? The stocks have been falling every day since it went public. Donald Trump lost $1 billion yesterday because the stock on that Truth Social has failed so far. So these people, they cheer everything that Donald Trump says and does. This is why I think they're not very truthful. I don't cheer everything that Biden says. Matter of fact, I criticize most of the stuff Biden says. But I also criticize most of the stuff that Trump says because I'm a true independent. I think both of them are evil. And I'm voting independent. I don't care if the independent candidate wins or not. I'm voting independent because I don't trust the left or the right anymore. I don't. I'm voting Cornel West, even though he's really old. All of them are old. All of them are 70 plus. Cornel West is 70. RFK Jr. is 70. Trump 77. Biden is 81. So they're all old. But at least Cornel West is educated. He's one of the most intelligent men on the planet. So if I have to vote independent, I'm voting for him. I don't trust Donald Trump and I don't trust Joe Biden. And I don't know why anybody would, because they've literally shown you what they're all about. Trump showed us what he was all about. The only thing that he got passed when he was president is a tax break for rich people. That's the only thing he got passed. Now, he wants to claim that the unemployment rate for black people was better under his administration than Biden. It's actually not true, boys and girls. You can look it up right now. Black unemployment is actually lower under Biden. Economics are actually better under Biden than Trump. It's a fact. Every metric, you can look it up and see he's actually doing better than Trump did. But the reason that I don't like Biden is because he does a lot of liberal crap that I'm not a fan of. And he's really old. And I don't think he can live through another term. That's just my personal opinion. Yeah, other people share that opinion. And they have a right to. Because he would be the oldest person in American history to be reelected as president. No one's ever been 80 plus and reelected to a second term. So I have a right to say I don't think he's going to make it. And I know that Twitch is a left-leaning kind of website like YouTube. But I'm still going to tell the truth. I don't care. I don't trust Biden. I think Trump is crazy. I honestly, just listening to him talk, I think he has the onset of dementia, and I think he has the onset of Alzheimer's. Because Donald Trump says really crazy stuff that don't make any sense. Even his own supporters don't even understand what he's saying. I watched one of his events where he was talking. The whole crowd got silent because they did not understand a word he was saying. It was just gibberish. Because I honestly think he has dementia. And I think by the time we get to November, I think Trump and Biden are both going to be showing serious signs of dementia. Because they're both showing signs right now. But I think by the time we get to November, it's going to be even worse. And then we're going to all be regretting that we put all these old men up for office. I would have picked Nikki Haley over any of these people. And I don't even like Nikki Haley. But Nikki Haley's only 52 years old. So there's a low probability of her dying in office. And she's a little closer to the people than these old men. So she has a little bit more in common with regular people. It's like I said the other day. There aren't that many 77-year-olds. There aren't that many 80-year-olds. There aren't that many 90-year-olds. That's a really exclusive club. There's a reason why most people die in their 80s. Okay? So the idea that those are the only candidates we could come up with were the oldest dudes in the country, it says a lot about our electorate. It says a lot about the people that are going in there and pulling the lever or pressing the button. It says a lot about us that we keep picking the oldest people possible to run the country.
Its assessed value is 1.8. If they're not paying taxes on it, they're either tax cheats or they're overinflating the value of their properties. And for what reason? I say we go after them. They got to pay their fair share. Yep. Jon Stewart, time to pony up your taxes. How much are you not paying on your? I Googled it. His net worth is estimated at $120 million. How much is he not paying? Got to pay their fair share.
Absolutely. He is not paying millions and millions of dollars, I bet.
You know, I want to give a shout out to Gen Z, too, because when we talk about...
No, that's not true. That's not... Listen, guys, I know that there's this misconception out there that rich people don't pay taxes, but I want y'all to understand something. If the only tax money that the government received was from poor people, do you think the country would even have enough money to run? Think about it. I want you to think long and hard about this. Do you really think your local government could run if they only taxed poor people? I used to believe in this nonsense too when I was young, that rich people didn't pay taxes. No, rich people have accountants and they know how to wiggle their way out of paying a lot of taxes. They know how to cut their tax burden from 10 million down to 5 million because they know a lot of loopholes and stuff. But this idea that they pay no taxes at all, come on, guys. This is where common sense kicks in. It don't take much to see that that's one of the stupidest things you ever heard. Everybody pay taxes. Some people just better at cheating their way out of it. Some people know all the loopholes to not have to pay a lot of tax.
Wealthy people paying their fair share and it going to newcomers. If there were a fair share to be paid, at the very least, it would go to the younger generation who is inheriting this country. But it is not. It's going to strange people who just showed up. Maybe we should get some Gen Z. Maybe this is why Gen Z has become so based.
Well, Gen Z doesn't even realize this. I mean, if you look at housing prices, which have risen so dramatically, one of the reasons is the millions of people who are now in the country illegally all have to live somewhere. And that's driving real competition for housing pricing. And so you may not see it influence you in your everyday life, but wherever you are in America, your housing prices are influenced by the vast influx of people.
Well, here's something else that they obviously don't know anything about. And I invite you guys to do a little bit of homework. You guys know how I am. I always tell y'all to go and Google the things that I say. I want y'all to go and Google right now the percentage of Gen Zers that live at home with their parents. When they try to talk about the housing crisis for Gen Z, there is no housing crisis because most of them still live with their parents. I think the number is 53% of them now. And the other ones that don't live with their parents, they have roommates and shit like that. And now the generation coming after them, all of them living at home. Like young people as a whole are living at home, but this new generation that came after the Z people, you couldn't kick them out. Even if you gave them their own car and a bag full of money, you still couldn't kick them out of your house. Young people today don't leave home. Parents have just started letting kids live at home forever. It ain't like when I was growing up. You had to get out. Mom was like, you got to go. I want my house to myself. Get out. Now it's like you can't leave. Guys, most young people that have an apartment, they have a roommate, or they have a girlfriend or a boyfriend, or they live in a house with a bunch of other young people. Like, especially in places like New York, where the prices are crazy, you might have 4 or 5 people, young people, all paying to live in an expensive condo or an expensive high-rise apartment. Because that's the only way they can afford it, is that all of them have to chip in. Like, let's say the rent $6,000. Split between 5 people, that ain't that bad. But 1 or 2 people trying to pay that is crazy. So there are ways around these things. Now, if you don't want to move out your parents' house, then that's up to your parents. If your parents say you can stay, then that's fine. But let's keep it real, boys and girls. The stuff they saying on this video, a lot of it is just stuff to make people mad. The whole reason that Donald Trump is even keeping pace with Biden is because these people have kept that party angry. Look, I've been telling y'all for years on the internet, the best way to keep an audience engaged is to keep them mad. What did I tell y'all about Fresh and Fit? I said, how do they keep those guys coming back and donating to their channel over and over? Think about it. Anger. They keep them mad at women all day. They keep them mad at Instagram girls and OnlyFans girls. That anger makes them come back and it makes them donate some more. Anger is the best way to keep an audience. Why do you think I have audiences here on Rumble, my website, everywhere? Because most of the people that come to watch don't like me. And they're angry at me for something, whether I did it or not. It's the truth. And the right-wing grifters are keeping their audiences angry, keeping them pissed off, and it keeps them coming back. It keeps them spending money.
Who are in our country in the last...
Oh, you noticed that too? How all these dating shows keep inviting the same girls on? Like, it's done got to the point now where they don't even have different women on the... Like the Whatever podcast, they had the same girl rotation on there. Like, there's this one girl, she's literally on there every show. They don't even try to change anymore. They don't even try. They just had the same folks on saying the same stuff. And it's a cycle to keep you pissed off. If you're a guy that's having trouble dating, and I have a show where I bring on a bunch of smoking hot chicks that you're never going to get a chance with, it's going to piss you off. You can sit there and see how pretty they are. You know you will never have a chance with that girl. It's going to make you mad. And you're going to donate money so you can say horrible stuff to her during the stream. She's a 304. She's a this. She's a that. We all know how it works. That's the whole reason they bring those girls on. Because if you truly cared about men, you truly cared about making content to help men, then you would have a round table of men putting out actual things that can help men instead of just sitting there yelling at women all day. I've been saying this about the red pill from day one. How can you claim to be about helping men when all you do is sit there and yell at women about being women? Yes, we know women have an easy life. We know women live life on easy mode. We know women can use their looks to make money. We've known this for a long time. And you know what makes me laugh? These guys, they claim that they want traditional women. And I know this is a bit off topic, but I gotta say this. They claim that they want traditional women. You want to know what traditional women did? They use their beauty to get a husband so that they could stay home and take care of the house while their husband went to work. So they bash these women for being beautiful and using their beauty to get stuff, but at the same time, they claim to want a traditional woman, and that's what traditional women did in the 50s and 60s. They used their good looks to get a good husband so that they could stay home while their husband went to work. It just shows you how that red pill stuff is nonsense.
For years, and quite frankly, don't belong here.
James Lindsay's getting in on the Jon Stewart memeing too. He's retweeting this stuff about him. So, I mean, look, like I said, time to start throwing the book at Democrats. If you've broken the law, again, this is not saying that anyone that hasn't broken the law shouldn't.
You notice he ain't saying time to throw the book at Republicans who've broken the law. He just keeps saying Democrats. So you only want to lock up one side. Never mind all the crimes being committed on the other side. If you look up the list of indicted or convicted politicians, it's a lot of Republicans and a lot of Democrats. It ain't just Democrats that are doing stuff. This is why I say it, you have to call out both sides equally. It ain't just Democrats. It ain't just Republicans. Both sides are corrupt as hell. Our politics have been ruined by these corrupt, power-hungry, money-hungry people. And all we can do is come online and complain about it. Oh, this person should go to jail. That person should go to jail. But we all know deep down ain't nothing gonna happen. Ain't nothing gonna happen to any of these rich people. Like all this stuff that Donald Trump's going through, he ain't going to jail. He might not even go, his trial might not even get completed. And let's say it does, and he gets found guilty. You name me a judge that wants to be the first person to put an ex-president in jail. You name me the judge that wants to be that guy. The first ever judge to sentence an ex-president to jail. So even if Trump is found guilty on these charges, he ain't going to jail, guys. They're never going to lock up a former president. That's why a lot of people just like drop the charges and let's beat him at the ballot box. If the people decide to re-elect Joe Biden, so be it. If the people decide to elect Trump, so be it. But throwing all these charges on Trump ain't helping nothing. It's just a waste of our tax dollars.
Or, if you don't have evidence, you shouldn't create it. So we're actually being better than the Democrats if you aren't creating evidence to justify an investigation. But if there's evidence, investigate them. If they've broken the law, throw the book at them.
I think we should have I think it's time to play ball, baby.
Yeah.
I think.
Oh, I forgot this guy Freaky Fast. Subscribe to the channel. My bad. I didn't see that until now. Appreciate it.
I think I don't know, Phil. Maybe you go a little too far saying even if they're jaywalking, but at the very least, I can say this: Republicans who in any way have any legal control, DAs, governors, whatever. If Jon Stewart, how much you want to bet he's?
Hang on a second. All right, hang on a minute. Like we have Republican politicians right now in Congress who might be facing sexual misconduct charges. Right now is Matt Gaetz from Florida. He's a Republican. Um, he was dating underage girls in Florida, and one of his homeboys snitched on him. Yeah, I'm sitting there looking at the list of people who either resigned or were removed from office due to some kind of criminal offense. And I'm seeing a bunch of R's and a bunch of D's. It ain't just one party doing it. This list is gigantic. And it's from every state. It goes in alphabetical order by state. And in every single state in the union, some politician has been kicked out of office or voted out or resigned for some kind of crime. Every single state, from Alaska all the way to the ends, all the way to Washington. It's crazy. It just goes to show you how corrupt our politics are. And I hate to say this, but Republicans, y'all have a real issue, because a lot of the people with an R next to their name, I'll just read this one. This guy right here, Representative Don Shooter, Republican, expelled from office February 1st, 2018 by an overwhelming House vote after investigation substantiated a lengthy pattern of sexual harassment towards women. Here's another one, a Republican. January 2018, he was kicked out following allegations of sexual misconduct raised by multiple women. A prosecutor said that in July there was insufficient evidence to charge the congressman, but he resigned from Congress because even though they didn't have enough evidence to charge him, he was guilty enough to be kicked out of Congress. Here's another one, Republican, resigned in 2017 while under criminal investigation for molesting 2 girls. Here's another one, Republican, Nick Saucer, sexual harassment. So it seems like every time a Republican is kicked out of office, it's got something to do with something sexual. It's like almost every single, like here's another one. After being accused of sexually harassing a female state employee, Republican. Here's another Republican. After a married lawmaker acknowledged having a sexual encounter with him in his office. I'm looking at this list. Here's another Republican. Resigned after 2 former assistants alleged being sexually harassed by him. Another one, Republican, pled guilty to a federal charge of child trafficking after being accused of hiring a 17-year-old boy for sex. Everyone I just read you, Republicans. That's what I'm talking about. Like every time, like most of the Democrats that were kicked out was for financial crimes. Like there's a Democrat right now, Bob Menendez. He's under investigation for fraud, money laundering, stuff like that. When Democrats get kicked, it's usually something related to money. When Republicans get kicked, it's usually something related to sex. Because they spend so much time talking about God and Jesus and marriage. They got all that suppressed sexual energy. And then they end up getting in trouble. It's just like when pastors get caught doing sexual stuff. I find it funny all the people on the side of Lord and Jesus are the ones getting caught doing most of the sexual stuff. Pretty funny, ain't it? I just think it's kind of weird that that happens that way. Hang on, let me check something else real quick. Somebody complaining that they can't talk in my chat. Somebody, they must have been banned a while ago because I don't recognize that name. Let me go back and read some of y'all messages here. I don't even need to listen to him no more. All that power and money, politicians still ain't satisfied. They got to do some stupid shit. Yeah, pretty much. I agree with that. I think money and power changes people to the point where they don't care about the consequences. I truly believe that. I think people get so rich and so powerful that they don't think the consequences are going to matter. I think that's part of why Donald Trump is in so much trouble, because he got so much power and so much money that he don't believe he's ever going to pay the price for the stuff that he does. Now, I don't think he's going to pay the price this time. I mean, I think it might catch up with him later down the road, but right now, he ain't going to pay for nothing. That's why we need to just quit charging him with stuff. Like, they're talking about Arizona is thinking about charging Donald Trump with trying to steal the election in Arizona. At this late in the game, why bother? It'll just be more fake news. Fake news. That's all it'll be. It'll just be a waste of damn time. Don't charge him with nothing. Just let it run its course. If the American people want Donald Trump, then there ain't nothing you can do to stop it. He gonna get voted in whether you like it or not. So I recommend people go ahead and they get their minds set on the fact that you're going to get one of two really old men. You're going to get Biden or you're going to get Trump. Go ahead and settle on that and you'll probably feel better. What the fuck? Motherfucker said, cool if I put another of your advertisements in the paper. Free as fuck. I know where you live if you say no. What the who the I'm not going to say no. I'm going to say you're blocked. How about that? They sent that on Instagram. Well, whatever, dude. I don't even know you. Better get away from me. He said, I don't want neither. I want my kids to have a future. Doesn't it just waste money charging him? Yeah, it does. Look, all these charges against Trump, ain't none of it going anywhere. None of it. He's got one case that's supposed to start next week on the 12th, I think, or 15th or something. And it's that fraud case, that hush money case. And it's 31 felony charges. But even if he's found guilty on every single charge, he still won't go to prison. They said that it still won't be enough to put him in jail. So why go through it? Now, if me or you committed 31 instances of fraud and it was felony fraud, we would go to jail. But we're not ex-presidents. I'm telling y'all, I don't care what happens. No judge is going to be lining up to be the first guy to lock up a former president. This is why Donald Trump keeps getting away with shit, because no judge wants to be that guy. I'm telling you. Every last one of them is scared to death to be known as the guy who locked up an ex-president. Why you think that Ford gave a pardon to Nixon after Nixon got caught committing all those crimes? Because Ford understood it would be a bad look to have a former president sitting in a jail cell. So that's why when Ford got in the White House, the first thing he did was gave a pardon to Nixon. Was guilty as sin. And Ford was like, look, we cannot have a former president sitting in prison. So he gave him a full presidential pardon. And I'm telling y'all, look, even let's say, for instance, a judge finds Trump guilty. And let's say that Biden becomes president again. Biden is going to give Trump a pardon. He's going to give him a presidential pardon. Because Biden is not going to let a former president sit in jail. Y'all don't understand. This is top level politics here. There's no way a president is going to let another former president rot away in jail. All you people that want Trump in jail, you're crazy. They're probably already whispering in Biden's ear, hey, man, if he get convicted, you got to pardon him. Because I'm telling you, do you know how good that will make Joe Biden look if he gave Trump a pardon? That, man, y'all got to understand. There's chess and then there's checkers. I'm telling you. Trump ain't going to jail. Y'all might as well forget about it. That's the other reason he's not going to jail. Because he has half of this country is in love with Trump. Y'all saw how many people voted for him. Even though he lost, he still got 75 million votes. Even though he lost. That's a lot of votes. That's a lot of people. And if they put Trump in jail, you're going to have riots. You're going to have lynchings. You're going to have neighborhoods on fire. You're going to have the civil war that some of these people been wanting for years. You got people on the right and some on the left that want civil war. They want to see Americans hurt each other. There are a lot of people shooting for that. I'm telling you. And I think we need to be careful, man. Look, do I think Trump done some shit? Yeah, I think he did some shit. But I don't think he's going to go to jail for it. And anybody who thinks he's going to go to jail, you're fooling yourself. You are fooling yourself if you think they're going to let a president rot away in jail. And here's another complication, too. Presidents and ex-presidents get Secret Service protection for the rest of their life. So even if he's convicted of a crime and sent to prison, Secret Service has to protect him even in prison. So if you give Trump a prison sentence, you're not just locking him up, but you're locking up his Secret Service detail. The people that have been sworn to protect him the rest of his life. Bill Clinton has Secret Service. Obama has Secret Service. For the rest of their life. Every living president has Secret Service. Jimmy Carter has it. Even though he's almost dead, he even still has it. And their wives, and their vice presidents, and their kids. So if Trump does get found guilty and they put him in prison, so you're going to lock up all them Secret Service agents too? They got to go and be in prison every day because the guy they're guarding is in prison? Now, they won't be locked in a cell with him, but they'll have to basically work at the jail. They would literally have to be at the jail. I don't know. They might have to just put him in his own cell by himself. They might just have to put him in his own unit by himself to keep him safe. But I don't think he's ever going to see the inside of a jail cell. I don't. And it's okay with me. I don't care. Look, only thing I want is Trump to go away. I either want Trump to win, do his 4 years and get out of our memory, or I want somebody else to defeat him. Anybody other than Biden. That's all I want. I'm just tired of Trump. I'm tired of him. It has nothing to do with how I feel about anything he says or does. I just think we as a country are tired of him. Y'all remember that episode of South Park when they were making fun of Donald Trump about how he became the Canadian president and all the Canadian citizens left and came to America? And they talked about how it started out as a joke. Nobody thought he had a chance to win, blah, blah, blah. And then he ended up winning. That's the same thing happening to America. It's funny how them cartoons predict a lot of this stuff and then it happens. Our choice is simple. A senile old man versus a crazy old man. Those are our two choices. It's sad, but it's very true. Biden is a senile old man. Trump is a crazy old man. I think we're going to have a lot of people that stay home. That's one thing I think about this election that a lot of people ain't thinking about. I think a lot of people are going to stay home. I think a lot of people are going to be like, man, I am not voting for neither one of these dudes. And that's going to be bad because that's going to hurt everybody across the board. But it's what happens when you have a year with bad candidates. When you have a year where neither one of the candidates are worth it, that's what happens. So we might as well get ready. I hate it for America, man. This next 4 years is going to be rough. If we get Biden, it's going to be rough. If we get Trump, it's going to be rough. And I want to say this too. Okay, and I ain't trying to be racist or be a dickhead or none of this stuff. Okay, but we have a lot of pro-blacks and folks like that who talk a good game about being for the black community and this, and this. There's a black man in this race, Cornel West. Now, we know Republicans don't care about the black community, and we know Democrats just use the black community. We know this. We've seen it, and we've seen them do it over and over. We as black people, if we really care about other blacks and we care about the black community, how come black people don't take their vote and give to Cornel West? Why don't just every black person say, look, we're not voting for Democrats. We're not voting for Republicans. We're voting for the one black dude that's in the race. It's funny how we never support each other. And I'm talking about the black community. We never support each other in important situations. Do you know how much power our community has? Do you guys know that the black community spends over $15 billion on shoes, PlayStation, fake hair, chicken, beer? Do you guys know that we have more buying power than most communities in America? We buy so much crap that we don't need. Imagine if we took that same initiative and went out and voted the same way we go out and buy the new Jordans. Imagine if we stood in line to vote instead of standing in line to buy a new packet of hair weave. And imagine if we took all that voting power and instead of voting for Democrats every single year, we took all that voting power and got behind Cornel West or another black candidate who was talking some sense. Whether they be Republican or Democrat, it don't matter. How come black folks don't do that? That's why when these pro-blacks come at me, they talk all this stuff and then they say, I'm voting for Biden. Then you're not pro-black. There's a black man in the race and you're not giving him your vote. So you're not pro-black. Don't come at me with that. I've made it clear. For the rest of the time I'm on earth, I am voting independent. I'm not voting for left or right ever again because I've been fooled enough times. I've been lied to enough times. And even if the independent candidate has no chance in winning, it's the principle of the matter. I'm just not giving my votes to people that lie to me anymore. I ain't giving my votes to people like I was listening to Charles Barkley talking about politics one day. And he said part of the reason why people don't like politicians, especially black people, is because they show up in our community every 4 years. Think about it. How many politicians showed up in the black community during the last presidential election? And then how many politicians did you see after the election was over? None. They didn't deliver on any of the promises. They didn't show up to check on anybody. They didn't care. But now here we are. It's almost time to vote again. Hey guys, we're back and we care about your community. Every 4 years you see them. I'm sorry, but they don't care about you. If somebody only checks on you every 4 years, that means they don't care about you. And politicians only check on the black community every 4 years. They don't check on us any other time except for when it's time to vote. And then they come pretending like they care about the issues of the black community when you know they don't care. As simple as that. You can go back and look at the trends yourself. You can go back and look at the advertisement. You can go back and look at all the stuff that happened all the way up to now. Everybody thought Barack Obama was going to change the face of politics. Everybody thought that Obama getting elected would change everything. It didn't change nothing. If anything, it made it worse. Honestly, I think it did make a lot of things worse. I don't think it helped at all. Because all these crazy right-wing people, they saw that as the changing of America. They saw that as them losing their position as number one. That's why everything went to hell after Obama. And I'm not saying it's his fault. I'm just telling the truth. After Obama, the number of racist attacks went up. The number of times people said and done some racist stuff shot up. The agitation and anger between the races has gotten worse than ever. It's just the truth. Oh, what's up, man? What's up, Spartan? Look, I don't know what's gonna happen in November. I don't have any idea who's gonna be elected president. All I know is they ain't gonna do nothing for me. Everything that my family gets, everything that I do, is for my family. I'm not counting on politicians to do shit. I don't expect these people to help me take care of my family. I expect them to lie and do whatever it takes to get my vote. But I don't expect them to do anything to help me and my family. I snoozed that last advertisement. I know some of y'all been getting ads. I went ahead and snoozed that last one because I didn't want to cut off what I was saying. Nah, they stopped caring about the general public a long time ago. When you got people that can sit in office until they're 90 years old, they don't care about you. That they have a permanent seat of power. And they're never going anywhere. And they know it. Even if you vote against them, these people been in power so long, they know how to rig the vote in their favor. You ever heard of gerrymandering? That's how you rig the vote before it even happens. They literally jury rig the votes. They do it by district so that it automatically equals them getting put back in office. So yeah, they have their ways. And when you've been in office as long as some of these old people, you can get away with all kinds of stuff. So yeah, our system ain't gonna change until these old dinosaurs start dying. When these really old politicians start disappearing and getting replaced by younger ones, that's when you might see a change. Somebody knocking on my door. Hang on, guys. I'll be right back. There's a guy trying to get me to switch my pest control. It's cold as hell outside. He walking around in that cold ass air trying to get people to change their pest control. Fuck that shit. This guy said Obama actually won because he got the white vote. Okay, I don't remember saying anything about how he won or why he won. I really don't care. I didn't vote for him. So, I mean, I don't know what to say to that. I mean, the only thing I said about Obama is that him getting elected didn't do anything but make matters worse. How he got elected ain't the point. The point is, since his presidency, look at all the stuff that's went down as far as racial tension. Look at all the Civil War level shit that started up. Okay, listen, you can only speak for you. I can only speak for me. But I have eyeballs, and I could see there was a lot of resentment in this country for a black man being elected president. Okay, you may not want to see it. You may not want to admit that it was that way, but a lot of people felt slighted and were upset by the fact that a black man won. You know, that I'm not calling all white people racist, but there were a lot of people who did not like the fact that Obama was president. A lot of people. Why do you think they went out of their way to call him Barack Hussein Obama? Why have you ever seen people go out that much trouble to use somebody's middle name? Think about it. Have you ever seen somebody go to that much trouble to take a politician's middle name and use it over and over like they were doing Obama? That every time they brought him up, Barack Hussein, because they wanted y'all to think that he was some kind of terrorist sympathizer. That's the whole reason they did that shit. And that's because on that side, there were a lot of people who did not want to see a black dude in the White House. Okay? It's just like when you have a black neighborhood and when a white person show up, what everybody be doing? Everybody watching that white person that just showed up. I know, I grew up in the hood. Every time we seen a white person, everybody drop what they doing and they watching to see what they up to. If you go to a Hispanic neighborhood or an Asian neighborhood, the same thing gonna happen. Everybody gonna be keeping their eyes on you. Have you ever went in an Asian store as a black person? And every time you look up, the person that owned the store is literally standing on the same aisle as you. Every time you touch something, they standing right there. You hurry up and buy. Hurry up and buy. I've had that happen to me before. So it ain't just white people. It's everybody does it. That's like I told y'all the other day. Everybody has racial stereotypes built in for other groups. Everybody does it. Black people do it. White people do it. Hispanics do it. Asians do it. Everybody do it. Every single person on this planet has some kind of built-in stereotype for a different group of people. We're about to hit an ad break, guys. After this break, I'm probably gonna be done. I just like to be honest. I just tell it like it is. I'm not afraid to call stuff what it is. You know, it's a lot of people on the internet. They're scared to death to even talk about race because of the various different reasons. Like on Twitch, for instance, it's a lot of stuff you got to tiptoe around, and because they'll ban you for almost anything. Even if you have good intentions, just saying the wrong thing can get you banned. So, and then you have people that are just out and out scared because they don't want to be called something. They don't want to be called racist or homophobe or transphobe. So a lot of people just don't say nothing about nothing. That's a terrible way to live. Having to put your head down like this and go through the world with your head down. not being able to say nothing because you're afraid. I ain't never been afraid to talk. And I'm not going to start. Is I had that happen to me at the mall. Yeah, it happens. Happens all the time. I think we're better off if people just acknowledge the truth instead of hiding behind whatever. I've always felt like it's just best to just say it out loud. It's like I tell you guys, I would rather somebody be upfront with me if they're racist. I would rather them tell me up front than to find out that they're talking smack behind my back. Like, I don't want somebody to shake my hand and smile in my face, and then behind my back they're calling me every kind of racial name they can think of. I'd rather you just tell me to my face, man. Like, if you don't like me because of my skin color, I'd rather just get that out in the open. That way I know where I stand. I don't want to have to guess my position. I don't want to have to guess how you feel about me. I don't want that. And I don't think you should want that. I think people should be on the up and up with each other. No, I've had business dealings with people that don't like black people. But like, I actually had a guy, it was years ago, he actually told me. He said, I don't normally deal with black people in business. He said, but you do good work. He said, so here's your money. Simple as that. He didn't know I was black when we talked on the phone and when I went to do the work. But when it came time to pay and a black guy showed up, he was like, wow. And he was just open with it.
So apparently there's like this workout and it like
Where was it at? That's weird. Whatever. Yeah, I just think, I think part of the thing with me, like my whole time on the internet, I try to just keep it real with you guys. And I don't do it because it's some kind of internet persona. Because anybody that knows me off the internet, anybody like my family and friends, they would tell you the stuff I say online, I say it offline. I don't just do this stuff as some kind of fake personality online. Everything that I say, I believe. I don't believe in coming online talking if you don't back it up with the actions and the way you live. I just don't think it makes sense. Look, if you want to come on and grift for money and whatever, then go ahead. I don't come on here to do that. I come online to be able to say what I want and be honest with people. The more people listen, the better. But if folks don't want to listen, if you got some kind of hate boner for me and you don't care, then so be that too. I ain't mad at you. I'm still going to talk. Still going to say what I want, whether you hate me or not. And that's what I try to tell people. Who cares what motherfuckers think about you? People going to hate you forever. Fuck it. But the stuff that I say, I don't try to say it out of hate. I try to say it to try to educate people. Like the other day when we was talking, I saw people in the chat, they were like, damn, I'm learning a whole bunch about stuff in this stream. I think it's a stream we did on Rumble yesterday. They're like, man, I'm learning a bunch. You younger people, y'all gotta learn, because us older people ain't gonna be around forever to keep running shit. We ain't gonna be around to run the businesses and run the governments and all that. So you younger people have to learn shit. You know, so I try to teach stuff. A lot of people don't like it. A lot of people don't care. Or a lot of people just get mad and hate me, but I don't give a shit. A lot of the stuff I say to y'all, I say to my own kids. because it just stuff needs to be said. The truth needs to be told. And I just don't like all these liars, man. I think if I had any reason to hate the internet, it's truly all these fucking liars that come on and they'll say anything to get a buck, to get a sub, or to get a donation. It's really disgusting behavior. I'm not even gonna lie, it is. It's truly disgusting. Anyways, boys and goons, I'm gonna get my butt up off here. I'm trying to put up, content every day. For those who missed it, I put up a stream, or not a stream, but a video on my website today. It was the final episode of season 1 of Solo Leveling. Hope y'all like my brand new thumbnails too. Been working on my thumbnail game. But yeah, I put this up on the website. If you're a member of the site, go check it out. If you're not, you can scroll down and you'll see my website there. That's an old website link, but it still works. Even though my channel was suspended for almost 2 years, all those links still work. All of them are still the same, I think, except for maybe one. But I'll check them all, but it still works. So if you want to go check out madblackentertainment.com, you can check this is on there. What do you mean you couldn't find it? That's this one right here. It's on there, dude. What are you talking about? What section are you looking in? Because it's on there. How did you not find it and it's on there? It's in the new reaction section. Yeah, if you look under new reactions, it's right there. Hold on, let me double check to make sure before I get off here. I mean, I know I uploaded it, so. The episode before that, I don't know if I reacted to that one. Yeah, it's sitting right there. Final episode. I see it right there. But the one before that, I know what it is. I did. I think I skipped that one. There is another one on there before this one. Check that one. It might be it, but I'm not sure. Cause I did have a. I know what it was. I had a week where they were working on the website. They were fixing stuff, and I couldn't use the website. And that's why I ended up skipping that one. So you're right, that one is not on there. So I do have to go back and do that one, because it's not. That's the week where they were doing work on the site. I remember it now. So you're right. My bad. Yeah, I'll react to it and get it put up. I totally forgot, man. Yeah, I couldn't help it though, because they were fixing the website. Y'all remember that? The website was down for like almost a week and a half, and I couldn't really use it. So I'll go back and redo it. I also put up a new episode of my SAO roast. For those of you who haven't seen that, it's also up. And when I get up tomorrow, I'm doing the next episode of Ninja Kamui. Like I said, I'm just going to be doing an episode every day. That way it's always a new piece of content on the website every day. Hold on, let me see. Yeah, this is the one I did the day before that. I did this one. This one's on there too. So if you're on the website, or if you're thinking about going on the website or whatever, go check it out. There is some free content on the website. It's a whole section of free stuff. So go check that out if you don't want to pay. But hopefully if you go and watch that, maybe you might be enticed to sign up. It's $14.99 for a month. You can't beat that with a stick. But yeah, that's really about it. I haven't discussed the Diddy thing because honestly, I don't care. I'm not even gonna lie. I mean, if I discuss it, I'll do it on Rumble. because I have more freedom to speak on Rumble. Yeah, stuff like that that's really graphic kind of stuff, I do it on Rumble. So yeah, just if I do speak on it, it'll be there. Yeah, my Rumble account is also linked to this account, so if you want to check me out on Rumble, just go click on it. But I'm trying to stay away from really controversial stuff. I literally just got my Twitch account back after almost 2 years, so I don't want to give them a reason to kick me off again. So stuff like I did today is probably what I'll stick to. I might alter it a little bit, but I don't want to go crazy and get myself in trouble. And I'm definitely not going to spend time talking about he who shall not be named, because he'll use any excuse to try to flag me. So I'm just going to stick to what I'm doing. That stuff will stay over on Rumble, and then the reaction stuff will stay on the website. So I got a place for everything, basically. How y'all like my new Pittsburgh jersey, my Pirates jersey? I got my name on the back, NBA. I could have put my real name, but I said, nah, I'm putting NBA. Fuck that shit. Anyways, fellas, I'm done. I'm going to get up off here. I will catch up with y'all tomorrow. Like I said, I'm going to get up early, do the Ninja Kamui, and then we'll do a live stream. I'm streaming on the website, by the way, before anybody asks. The website will be on madblackentertainment.com in the free section. So if y'all want to watch it, that's where it'll be. If you want to talk in the chat, you got to be a member of the website. The chat is restricted to members only. So if you just want to watch, like if you're working out or taking a walk or at work or at school and you just want to listen to it, that's fine. But if you want to actually interact with the chat, you got to be a member of the website. And that's because I'm tired of trolls coming to my shit, starting trouble. So it just keeps them locked out. And with that, I'm done. I'll be back on tomorrow, and we'll have some more stuff to discuss. Now, I might be on Rumble or Twitch later tomorrow, but my first stream is going to be on the website. So just letting y'all know in advance.
I got the cash in the bag, stadium packed. Born a rock star in this life, gon' live it up on the attack. Baby, I'm bad, I just wanna get caught up in this life. I'm crazy, I'm mad, doing no cap. Only God wants you, better go live it up. Cash in the bag, stadium packed. Baby, I'm bad, baby, I'm bad.
I just wanna stay bad, stay mad.